All right, guys, so something a little bit different today. We are getting an introduction to ancient Greece. And from the get-go, one thing we have to understand before we can get into the details of ancient Greece is where were all these places that we're about to talk about? What made them significant? What was the geographical features of the area that made it unique? We have to understand that before we can go further. So the first lesson that we're going to take a look at is geography, and then the geography of Greek trade. Because remember, like we've talked about in previous lessons, trade is how information is transferred. You know, if somebody takes something from one place to another, yes, they're taking goods, but they're also sharing language, culture, stories, for lack of a better word, current events of what's going on in the country they're from to the country they're going to, and then they bring it back as well. There's more than just the transfer of goods when it comes to trade. So, the very first that I have here is geography of ancient Greece. So, there's a little page here just to give you a quick little overview, letting you know what took place in what part of Greece. Because Greece is a peninsula, and if you remember, a peninsula is a body of land that's covered on three sides by water, but then a series of islands. So these little bitty islands, these are all independent little things, and they came together to form Greece. But before that, they were all individual civilizations. So we're going to read through here. It's going to let us know the first civilization was located on the island of Crete. Named after King Minos, this culture became known as Minoans. Even these early people were sailors who, traded in the Mediterranean. Eventually, the culture came to an end when a nearby volcano on the island of Thera erupted and destroyed much of the island. It is thought that early Mycenaeans arrived in Greece from the Middle East around 2000 BCE. Their culture grew similar to the Minoans, but the Mycenaeans were more warlike. They took control of the city of Troy, reaching it by the sea. The Trojan War occurred during this period. The age of the city-states was between 1100 to 700 BCE. Only a few cities had kings, and others were moving towards democracy, where each person had a vote in the matters of state. The wealth of the Greeks grew as they traded more widely in the Mediterranean. Athens was the greatest city of its time. As time went on, in the years of 600 BCE, the Greeks sailed around the Mediterranean, establishing colonies. Now, this last part we'll get to eventually. This is a little bit of foreshadowing. As the Persians grew in strength as a civilization, they tried to conquer Greece. Alexander the Great fought both the Persians and the Greeks and expanded his empire over a huge area that included the Middle East to the borders of India. He founded many cities, and several were named Alexandria after himself. So, Alexander the Great we'll get to in more detail toward the latter half of this chapter. But the thing we have to look at first is we are going to label. I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger here. There we go. Look at the geography. Now, this is an unlabeled map, but if you'll notice, there are points on this map. Here, 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 here. What I want you to do, I have listed on the next page. Label the following bodies of water: the Mediterranean Sea, the Aegean Sea, and the Sea of Crete. Now, this says using a blue-colored pencil. Obviously, we're not using a blue-colored pencil unless you're printing these at home and then scanning them in or taking pictures. But what you're going to do is in Cami, you're going to select the pen tool and select a light blue color and a thinnish, medium thin line. And I want you to identify where the land is, and it's right here. This right here is your land. All of this through here is water. This could be an island. And I want you to take that blue and I want you to line the coast for me. I want to be able to see that you know where the coast of these bodies of waters come into contact with actual physical land is. Do it around the islands to the best you can. I know in a Chromebook this isn't going to be perfect, but I should be able to tell what it is that you're doing with some detail. All right. Label the island of Crete. Label the following cities. Label the following areas. You'll notice I don't have any other resources on here. That is because I could give you a map and just say, copy this. And that's not going to do anything for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to Google, and we're going to get a little bit better on actually searching for things ourselves. When it comes to label the island of Crete, go to Google and type in island of Crete. Enter. It'll show you on a map. It'll pop up. Y'all, we've got to get better at searching for things. We've got to get better at learning the right phrases to put in Google. And this is an exercise in that. The next one's label the following cities: Knossos, Athens, Sparta, Argos, Troy, Delphi, and the following areas: Thrace, Euboea, Lydia, and Peloponnesus. So I want you to go to Google. Where was Knossos? It'll bring you a map. Where was Athens? It'll show you on a map. Where was Sparta? It'll show you on a map. It's a simple search, but that's what I want you to do. And then I want you to write on this map what is where. When you get this completely labeled, then we're going to come over to this other one. I've already, same thing, but I've already put the trade routes on here for you. You do not have to worry about that. We will discuss this further in detail, but we've just got to learn the maps first.